Alright. Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Alphadia Genesis 2 on xbsx. What's going on here? The village sounds like it's been thrown into a rumpus. Whatever has happened, we should speak to the mayor directly and find out if everything's okay. Okay. That's all the same. The Empire has grown increasingly active in recent days. That's why it's so important to guard the village. My village was also destroyed by the Imperial Army, but a handsome knight by the name of Faulkner brought me here to live. Oh, my guy gets around. Chiffon, were you safe? What on earth happened here, Jack? And who is this dead man? An Imperial spy. The village caught a carrier pigeon while out hunting for food and found a message tied to its foot. It would appear the soldier using it was trying to inform the Empire of our location and numbers. But after catching it, we quickly searched the area and found this spy. So you killed him? Yes, in order to protect the village. Now, what to do with this Imperial dog? Shall we string his corpse up in the square as a lesson to others? At least if there are other spies in the area, it should serve to intimidate them. While that is true. Bad idea. Why? I thought you despised the Empire as much as anybody. Of course, I haven't forgotten they destroyed and burned my village to the ground. Or about making the Empire pay, either. But there's just something wrong about holding a grudge against someone who's already dead. And though we may be on opposite sides of the spectrum, the guy did live and die for what he believed in. Instead, we should make a grave and let him rest in peace. That's what being human means, and that's something I learned from Chiffon here. Dion. I can agree that this is a sound argument. Jack, I asked you bury him with the respect and dignity anyone in the village would receive. If that's what you really want. I appreciate your words of wisdom, Dion, even if it was something you learned from Chiffon. And I suspect hanging his corpse in the village square would have been a disturbing sight to everyone, despite the fact that he was a spy sent to search us out. If anything, those Lucerians in the village could have begun to fear or suspect they were next, when that would not have been the case. That wasn't necessarily my intent. Let us not worry about that. Now, how about Mole Woods? What did you find there? As reported, there was a soldier from the Empire. Chiffon and I took care of him, so the village's location should still be safe. Well, that is good to hear. I fear the day is not far off. We will be eventually found by our enemy. And all the more reason to defeat the Empire before that happens. Do not be so foolhardy. Do you really believe we have the strength to do that? It would be no different than before. No, this time we would all be slaughtered. Doing nothing dooms you to the same fate anyway. There is a path of negotiation. We can facilitate in helping Lucerians and Atramians live in harmony with one another as they do in this village. That's a peachy idea, but when it comes to getting the Empire to negotiate to the negotiation table, you have to do something you have to have something on the table to begin with. Even if the Atramians gathered together everything they had into one, somehow I still doubt the Empire would have any desire to strike a deal. Then what if we had something else to bargain with? Such as? Their defeat. That sounds like a long shot. If we were to defeat the Empire's top officers, then maybe Emperor Friedhelm would be willing to take the olive branch we hold out to him. Plus, by making him recognize our own independent state, we would be able to achieve victory without having to bring the Empire down. An independent state, huh? That might not be a bad idea. Why, thank you. While I would like to agree myself, how is it that you plan to engage these top officers in the Imperial Army? Just leave that to the two of you? You would only be throwing away your young lives at best. what the Empire fears most is we Atramians will band together into a single army. That's why if we all cooperate with one another and confront them, I have no doubt. While it is true our last rebellion, one of our fighters could stand up to 10 of their soldiers, that was because of your father's powers and unparalleled ability to lead. As you know, there is no other alive today who could take this place. Father. So what you're saying is, if someone strong and respected like Chiffon's pops were to show up on the scene, you'd be willing to cooperate. Yes, I would consider it if that time ever arrived. Then I'll be your man. I find that unlikely. Unlikely or not, we'll never know unless I try. I think we have spoken enough about the matter, and I am sure you are both tired. Please return home and rest for the evening. Dion. Yeah, I'll sleep in your bed. That looks comfy. We're home. I'm glad to see the both of you safe. There's been a lot going on in the village today, hasn't there? I take it you mean that spy from the Empire. I see you heard about it then too, huh? I pray we won't be found here. Thought alone has my nerves on end. You're a Lucerian, so even if the Empire did show up, they should spare your life. Don't say such things. If you were going to die, then I'm willing to lay down my life for yours. Colleen. Daniel. If the two of you want to get all lovey-dovey, get a room. Oh my, I forgot you were both standing there. Right. What were we thinking, giving the two of you any ideas? Oh, you're not, but I'm glad you at least get along. Well, what did you expect? When I see the two of them like this, it almost makes me think they could settle any differences with the Empire alone. Don't you think so too, Dion? That would take the Empire and Julius being as optimistic as these two. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. Julius didn't hesitate killing everybody in Folus, so I think it foolish to believe otherwise. On top of that, I'm sure he's got some belief like us, he's unwilling to budge on. You're probably right about that. Let's set aside the somber discussion for the moment and sit down for a meal, shall we? We can enjoy a good night's sleep after that. Dion, are you awake yet? Is it already morning? It is. Now rise and shine. Yeah, well, same to you. Did you sleep well last night? I suppose so. Yourself? I was out like a light. But actually, there was something I wanted to tell you. It was about... About what? About yesterday. You were really amazing. I hope you can become stronger and... Oh, you mean that? Well, the mayor sure didn't want to hear any more about it. Even so, it really resounded with me. I was able to take courage at your words, and... I would like to help in any way I can, Dion. If we work together, I know we can defeat the Empire. Good morning, dear. I came to call you for breakfast, but it seems I intruded on the two of you. My apologies. Then again, when I was in my younger years, I do recall coming often to visit my wife unannounced in the early morning. It's not what it looks like. Seriously, you've got to stop confusing us with your fantasies about your past. Yes, and right you are. But any longer here and your food will get cold. Though it looks like I shouldn't have to worry about the passion between you growing that way, should I? Oh, ho, ho, ho. He really doesn't get it, does he? I'm sorry, Dion. It's my fault they think about us like this. Hey, don't sweat it. It's not like it bothers me. Then does that mean... You like me? Oh, our goal is to defeat the Empire. Because of it, we don't have time to be wasting thinking about any of this falling in love nonsense. You agree with me there, right, Chiffon? Me? I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. Good. Now what do you say we get a bite to eat? A person can't very well fight on an empty stomach, can they? How could I have been so dumb to think he had feelings for me? My landwoman, breakfast was excellent as usual. That's because the main ingredient is love, and then I added some of your favorite lamb meat. Lamb, huh? I wonder how much we'll get this year. Good question. It's almost wyvern season, isn't it? Wyvern season? Yes, that's when they lay their eggs in Brennan Pass. Usually around that time, the males come looking for food and attack the flocks in the pasture. Last year, we lost about half of the village's animals. Every year, I rack my brains about what to do about them, but never to any avail. If there were just some way to exterminate them. Thanks for breakfast. I'll see you all later. Wait for me. I'm coming too. Don't go too far from the village. There have been a number of violent incidents in recent weeks. Okay, I won't. Please wait, Dion. Why'd you suddenly up and leave like that? I thought of a brilliant way to persuade the mayor. Persuade him? Yeah, he said if someone strong like your dad showed up, he'd cooperate in fighting the Empire, right? If that's true, then all I need to do is prove that I have what it takes. But how do you think you're going to do that? No, you don't mean... That's right. I'm going to exterminate the wyverns that keep attacking the village flocks. Not only will it help the mayor and everybody else here, it'll also prove that I'm capable, or what I'm capable of. No matter how you look at it, it's a win-win situation. Then I'm going with you. About that. I thought we vowed to defeat the Empire together. Unless you were just making all that up. Fine. You have to keep it a secret. Now let's hurry. Right. The wyverns that attack the flocks are supposed to live in Brennan Pass, right? That's what it sounds like to me. And Brennan Pass should be somewhere south of here. South, huh? Well, let's get going. Yes, let's. Okay, does anybody have any quests for me? This is usually the time the game starts throwing mini games. Or sorry, little mini quests at you. There we go. Hi, Chiffon. Why, hello, Cyril. What's going on with you today? Well, you went to Mole Woods recently, right? Did you happen to bring back any wheel peaches with you? I'm sorry, I wasn't even thinking to look. Oh. Chiffon, what's a wheel peach? What? You've never heard of them? They're like the most juicy and sweet fruit in the world. Since they can only be found in these woods, you shouldn't be surprised he's never heard of them before. The pit in them is actually quite a bit bigger than most peaches, so there is less flesh to eat than a regular one, but they are to die for. They sure sound good. Would you like to try one? Then go get some for me, will you? In fact, if you bring me back some, I'll show you the best way to eat them. Okay, let's do it. Besides, it doesn't sound like it'll take that much time. Seriously, you're awesome. Thank you, Dion. What for? I said I wanted to try one too. So it's Mole Woods where we'll find them, right? Yep, but be careful. Any more quests? You know, they usually only give you one to start. Alright, find some peaches. Real peaches. Real good peaches. Apparently. This is actually a surprisingly big map. These maps are typically pretty small. You know, with multiple connecting areas. Here, this one is basically just one giant map. Picked up 3 blue peaches. Is that all? Just 3 of them? I mean, there's usually only one kind of area to get stuff in for your quest. You don't have to find 2 or 3 of them. The game is thankfully merciful as far as that's concerned. Unless it specifically tells you it needs, like, X number of items. Oh, so that's a pretty big map for one of these games. Just gotta find the warp, then we can warp back to the beginning. And again, it doesn't hurt to do a little wandering around and build up some levels, gain some money. Unfortunately, it does not happen by itself. Yeah, the only bad thing about their whole quest system is that it's about traveling to the same places that you just were. So you can't get the quest ahead of time. You'll have to complete the whole dungeon and then come back and go back into the dungeon again. You usually don't have to go very far into the dungeon, but it does kind of suck that it's like backtracking is just part of the way the games are set up. But it's all optional. I mean, you don't have to do any of these side quests at all. They just help you with items and money, but you know, again, if you're just grinding like normal, maybe you don't need that. Or if you're a person that tends to like overgrind their characters. Still, I hope you weren't waiting too long, but we brought you back the fruit you asked for. Sweet. Hand over her pellet, Peaches. Now it's time to show you how I eat these like I said it earlier. Here, this one's for you. Well, thanks. And this one's for you, Chiffon. Thank you. Alright, first grab it from both sides where the stem has been plucked. Now pull firmly on both sides. Wow, it came right in half. Yeah, and the pit comes right out too. Yep, pretty cool, huh? Now try eating half. Yeah, now try eating a half. No, these really are good. A little tart too, but I'm not getting all the juice on me like usual. I think I could get used to eating things this way. Myself too. I'm glad to see you like eating them my way. But actually, while you were in the woods finding them, I got these together to give you for helping me. I hope you can put them to good use. When you get some free time again, let's sit down together and eat some more peaches. Sound good? I would love that. Got some HP seeds. Oh, I got 3 of them. Okay, to the south. Brennan Pass. What are you two doing here? Yes, there are wyverns living here in the pass. Without the mayor's permission, we can't let you through. That's exactly why we are here. He asked us to find out about them and report back since they've started eating the village flocks again. What? Is this true, Chiffon? Well, actually... It's true. If you don't believe us, go back and ask the mayor yourself. Theon! Just let me do the talking here. I suppose it's true the number of animals we've been losing has been getting worse each year. Yeah, you don't know when the next time those wyverns are going to get hungry and make off with more of your sheep. True. Alright, you're free to pass. However, know this area can be particularly dangerous, so you'll need to be careful. You don't have to tell us twice. There's a shortcut to get through the mountain just beyond here. That's why I'm standing guard to watch for any Imperial soldiers or suspicious individuals. Okay, we can come back that way, I guess. That went better than expected. You shouldn't lie, Dion. That was an awful thing to do. Hey, to win against the Empire, we'll probably have to get used to it. But... Not to worry. I know you've got a family name you don't want stained, so leave all the dirty work to me. No, that wouldn't be right of me to make you take all the blame yourself. Listen to me, Chiffon. After talking to the mayor, I started thinking. He was right about me not having either the strength or leadership ability like your pops. So how about we do this together? Together? My only real ability is to fight. On the other hand, you've got both the family name and the bloodline to attract those I can't. Me? But I'm just a... I'm not trying to flatter you, Chiffon. I'm being serious. I can see it in the way the villagers interact with you. That's why I think it's best to work together to persuade them. But to do it, we need to exterminate these wyverns first. That's why we're here, right? Yes, you're right, Dion. Glad to see you come around. have to ask, but do you really think the mayor would put Chiffon up to something so dangerous? You're thinking the same thing too, huh? To be sure, I'll head back to the village and check. I don't know if there's any hidden patches as yet. Oh, yeah. Nothing yet, I guess. I've been looking for them too, but these are all like super narrow. I'm not quite sure how old the game is. I mean, it's still on the old engine. So... might be some older than, like, you know, Runeverse or some of the other ones that we played recently. That's kind of how, like, the older design. I mean, this game doesn't have the mini-map. Hold on just a minute. Okay. Do you see that wyvern, Dion? No problem, I'm ready for it. Yo! Is this one of the wyverns that's been attacking the village flocks? It's bigger than I imagined it'd be. Yes, and I hope we can defeat it. That's the only thing we're here to do. If we can't beat this thing, then we'll never be able to stand up to the Empire. I suppose that's right, isn't it? I'm sorry for letting my fears get the better of me. Let's give this everything we have, Dion. Yo! We beat it, didn't we?
We sure did.
Still, I've got to say that wyvern sure was tough. Even after being hurt and to the point of dying, it kept fighting back. Oh, we could take a lesson in doggedness ourselves.
What's this, Dion?
I don't know. What did you find? A wyvern egg?
You must have been fighting to protect it, and why it didn't just fly away.
In order to protect its own offspring.
What do we do with this now?
Well, if we leave it, it could hatch and end up eating the village flocks like the last one. I think it's best we smash it. The only problem is, I don't have the heart to do it. Even if it is a wyvern, I just can't think about killing a baby a parent fought to protect. I know I talked all big coming here, but in the end, just look at me. I don't have what it takes to defeat the Empire at all. Go ahead and laugh while you're at it, Chiffon.
Laugh? But why? You have a kind heart is all. And for that I could never...
Chiffon!
Jack, and Daniel too?
Are we ever glad the two of you are safe? Why are you here?
I went and checked with the mayor, and he said he'd never spoke to you about anything of the sort. After hearing what you were up to, I came here.
What were you thinking, coming here to kill a wyvern of all things?
If anything happened to you, I'd never have forgiven myself. It's okay, Jack. We defeated the wyvern here, and...
You what? Is that true, Dion? You hurt her, didn't you?
But that's amazing, to think you were able to kill a wyvern. Even so, you're not finished here, Dion. There's still a wyvern egg. Wait, Jack, don't...
Die, beast! That should take care of our wyvern problem.
Dion? Jack, you really shouldn't...
Just forget about it, Chiffon. It's fine.
Dion.
We should return to the village. The mayor must be worried sick, and he'll probably come looking for you himself if we don't let him know you're both alright.
Shall we head back, Dion?
Yeah, let's. Yeah, we'll walk. We'll get some money and experience. Usually in these games, there's really not such a thing as over leveling, because by the time you hit the final part of the game, the enemies actually do get pretty tough. And sometimes if you're playing one of these versions of the game where you have to perform the magic in order for it to upgrade, you have to actually do the actions, just regular fighting won't increase all the abilities all at once. And you can get yourself in a real bind if you're not using all the magic and skills if they level up separately from your hand-to-hand fighting, which I've done quite a few times playing these games. Ended up not being able to actually defeat the last boss because my magic or my other skills are too low level. All I have are strikes. I mean, that's more of a problem with the hit point developed games rather than the EXE Create games. But yeah, every once in a while, EXE Create will they'll just make the hardest last boss, of all the other games. Oh boy, he's not gonna be happy with us. You? What was that sound?
What is it, Dion?
Did you hear that from further inside?
Actually, no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's just my imagination.
We should hurry back to Arbel. The mayor must be really worried by now.
Yeah, I hear you.
As for myself, it's back to my post here. The rest of you, be careful returning to the village.
I know, I still think I look like Ronald McDonald in the overworld. Wish they would have, you know, just chosen like a different color scheme. I mean, EXE Korea's not, you know, they're no strangers to having red-headed heroes. But for whatever reason, this just looks like, it just looks like Ronald McDonald. Not here, in the close-ups. But yeah, here, that's definitely, he's definitely looking for a Happy Meal. Now, you two, go let the mayor know you're back safe and sound. Make sure also to tell him everything that happened. Are we clear?
Yes, we'll do that.
As for myself, I should be getting back to work. I'll speak with you later, Chiffon.
Thanks for all you do, Jack. I'm sorry if I worried you.
Knowing you're safe is in itself enough for me. Now I should be going. Me and my big mouth. I should have realized it would only spark your curiosity and put you in danger. Why are you blaming yourself? I was one who decided to go.
Dion's right. It was both he and I who made up our minds to do it.
Even so, I'm just glad the two of you are safe. Now I need to get home and help Colleen prepare supper. We'll be having something special tonight, so be there for dinner, or be square. Ho ho ho!
Dion, we should probably go see the mayor and...
Yeah, I hear you. In the Empire's borders, Borden Fort.
According to the scout that was sent out, there is a nest of wyverns in Brennan Pass as suspected.
Given it's not far from here, shall we prepare ourselves and use the cover of night to strike? That would be unwise. I do not understand, General Herman. Shouldn't we employ the element of surprise?
According to our knowledge of this species, they are nocturnal creatures and said to sleep during the day. If we attack, it will be while the sun is overhead.
I see your wisdom precedes you, Your Highness.
Is it not the motto of the Empire? To know your enemy is the key to victory?
Indeed, those were the words of Emperor Cyrus, who, with less than half the men of his enemy, secured victory over the king of Istwal 3 centuries ago. Speaking of, was not the leader of that rebellion a decade earlier of the same lineage?
Even so, their bloodline would have been made extinct by my father's blade.
However...
What was that?
Prince Julius, we are under attack. A horde of wyverns has appeared and begun to assail the fortress. Wyverns? How can this be? It is midday. There must be some mistake. I will confirm this with my own eyes. Ready our defenses at once, General. At once, Highness. I know, we picked with the mom and they're pissed at them. Yeah, well, I guess it's to our advantage. There the two of you are.
I apologize for not saying anything, but...
As long as you are safe, that is all that matters. Still, I cannot help but wonder why you put yourselves at such great risk. To prove to you and everybody in the village I have what it takes to stand up to the Empire. I take it you mean like Chiffon's father. Well, I understand your mindset. One mistake in your actions could have cost you your lives. I cannot imagine what you were thinking taking Chiffon with you like that when you could have put her in danger. First an Imperial soldier, then a spy, and now wyverns. Since you came to this village, it has been one troubling incident after another. And while I cannot say I am ungrateful for your dealing with our wyvern problem, you have also made a mess of the order in the village. I hope you understand that. I do, so if you want me gone, I'll clear out of here by morning.
Doesn't look like I'm going to get the help to fight the Empire I'm looking for anyway.
And for good reason.
Please wait, Mayor Arbel. I was the one who pushed Dion to exterminate the wyverns.
Chiffon, what are you... Is that really the truth?
Yes it is. If you intend to punish Dion, then I'll deserve the same.
Then you claim responsibility for the incident too, do you? Even though I know it was not your idea. Yet, this is the first time I've ever known her to tell a lie. I wonder if she's been brooding over the same issue so badly.
Mayor Arbel?
Chiffon, do you really intend to confront the Imperial Army as you say?
Yes, I've made up my mind.
And yourself, Dion?
That was my plan from the very beginning.
Is it to get revenge for the destruction of your village?
Well, that's part of it. That's not the whole reason. It's like I said before, if we just try to continue hiding here, there's no telling when the Empire will find us, and we'll be killed like everybody else back in Folus. That's why the only way for us Atrenians to survive is to fight. There's no other alternative.
Then this is not necessarily about revenge, but rather about the survival of those with black energy.
I'll fight alongside you, Dion, and if you're planning to leave the village, please take me with you.
Chiffon.
Mayor Arbel, we'll stand and fight too.
Have you been eavesdropping on our conversation this entire time?
We were worried about the two of them and came to find out what was going on. They risked their lives to kill the wyverns that were threatening our flocks, and to banish them from the village for that, I won't stand for it.
Don't you think what Dion is saying has some merit to it?
With the Imperial Army and, more recently, a spy in the area, it's only a matter of time until they come against us with their full might. You may not see it in everyone's faces, but there's a deep hidden fear. In order to prevent what happened to Dion's and our own villages elsewhere, we choose to fight. Everyone in the village agrees, Mayor Arbel.
Everyone, huh? While neither of you are equal to Chiffon's father, Lionel, your kind hearts and strong will seem to have moved everyone here. Even an old man like myself, who has long forgotten the ways of war.
Then does this mean...
Indeed it does. We, as the villagers of Arbel, will give you our support.
Are you serious about that?
In the Great Uprising 10 years ago, I was called the Black Flame, as I fought shoulder to shoulder with your father in the battle, Chiffon.
Look, we did it, Dion.
Yeah, it looks like we got our wish after all. It is still too early to rejoice, Dion. As mayor, I have a duty to protect those living here. That is why there are conditions to us helping you.
Conditions?
Yes, there are two. First, you will need to gain comrades with the same ideals. Your numbers must be sufficient to battle the Imperial Army head-on. And second, if there is a path to peace with the Empire, you will take it instead of pursue violence.
Is that it?
That is all, unless you are dissatisfied.
No problems here. I was just thinking that's a pretty short order, and I almost feel disappointed there wasn't more involved.
Are you certain it is really so simple? I am not of the opinion it will be as easy as you imagine. In order to take on the Imperial Army, you will need at least 3,000 Atramium fighters. Which means you will need to gain the cooperation of 2 or 3 towns and villages like this one, or even larger.
I'll find a way to persuade them. You just wait and see.
Yes, we will, won't we? Now before you go.
Is there something else?
I would like you to take this with you. It is a letter to the mayor of Cleary.
Cleary?
It is a hidden village of Atramians beyond Brennan Pass. This letter here is a request for their cooperation along with my signature. I pray it will be enough to convince them to help you.
Receive Mayor Arbel's letter. We really appreciate this, Mayor Arbel.
That about wraps things up here. Now, if you would have all the nosy gatherers outside return to their homes, Daniel.
Yes, I'll let them know.
As for the pair of you, I ask you return home and have sufficient rest for the morrow. I take it you plan on leaving in the morning. And please be sure to express your thanks to those who have taken you in these past few months.
We'll do that.
As hoped for, Dion and Chiffon proved successful in gaining the support of those in Arbil in order to confront the Imperial army. With this small but first step taken, not only was the destiny of the Empire set to change, but all of Silesia as a massive uprising sat on the horizon that would Yet, at the time, no one could have imagined it. It's going by so fast. Why? In the Empire's borders, Borden Fort. Yeah! Was that the last one? Highness, according to our watchmen, the wyverns came from Brennan Pass. Brennan Pass? That's the very place we intended to exterminate them. Could it be they read our movements and came here to preempt us? I cannot think creatures like wyverns are capable of such superior intelligence. What could have happened there in the pass? General, I will take a small contingent and investigate myself. I desire you to stay here and focus your efforts on tending to the wounded and repairing any damaged structures. As you wish, Highness. Now I ask you to be careful.
We will, and thanks for everything.
If you ever run into trouble and need someone to sort things out, remember you always have a place with us.
Daniel's right. You two are like family to us. I appreciate that. And Jack, until I return, please do everything to protect the village.
I'll do my best. Alright, what do you say we head out?
Yes, I'm ready to go now. Clure is beyond Brennan Pass, isn't that right?
Yeah, so we've got a hike and a half in front of us to get there. But let's see if there's new quests, because sometimes the game is super annoying about that. Or I'm just speaking about other games that were developed by East Crate. I don't know about this game yet. But there's almost always some bonus quest that makes you go back to the same place. Hey, look at that. Well, hello there, Chiffon.
Good afternoon, Simon. Are you out looking for the unusual item again today?
How well you know me. Now have a look at this.
That's a beautiful feather. Does it belong to a local bird?
On page 349 of this Encyclopedia Celestia, it shows this creature called a licker it belongs to. What's more, it's one of the rare white ones. Coincidentally, however, I happen to find two of them, so I'm hoping to trade this one. And since I've got you here, what do you say in trading me something for this one? Like, how about something cool and cute?
You want us to trade with you?
Why not? I can't just up and leave the village myself, but you, on the other hand, get out and about in your travels, right? That's why I'm certain you'd have a better opportunity to trade than I would. Don't you agree?
Well, to be honest...
Don't play into his game, Chiffon. Like we've got time to go on some wild goose chase.
Dion.
Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Besides, I never said you'd get nothing out of it. If you can get me something that I'll be satisfied with, I'll give you something really useful in return. Since you're already traveling anyway, what could you possibly have to lose? Yeah, sure.
I appreciate you agreeing to this, Dion. Simon has always been a big help to me here in the village, so I feel it's the least I can do to repay him.
I get it, but this won't be our main focus or anything, just so you know.
That's fine, but I still appreciate it.
You'll have my gratitude as well. Now please take this with you. Received white feather. Now remember, I'm looking for something both cool and cute. You can trade as many times as you like, so long as you come back with something I'd be satisfied with. Okay, so that's, oh boy, I mean, that can be quite a quest. I have no idea what he wants. Off to McDonald Land.
This appears to be a wyvern nest.
Yes, and it would seem someone killed the wyvern here. They even made sure to destroy its egg.
Who other than ourselves would have come here? Let us continue our search of the pass.
Yes, Highness.
I was informed of the report from the village. You're free to pass. Now, if you're looking to get through the mountain, use this path. Yes, thank you. Shall we go, Dion?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting how they set up this chain of events. Like some decisions that they made, you know, have a larger impact to the future of everyone. But that being said, you know, the Empire would have found the village anyway, because they would have came to exterminate the wyvern's nests, and maybe explored a bit further. You know, these actions just sped that along. I have a bad feeling about what's up ahead. We're ready for anything.
To now know you survived, it would seem General Herman's apprehensions were not unfounded.
You're Julius. Ugh.
Dion,
I'll never forgive you for what you did to my village.
this is Prince Julius, the one who destroyed Pholus?
Indeed, it was I. I am Julius Gestal, heir to the Imperial throne. Who are you?
I'm Chiffon is...
Let's go. You don't need to tell him who you are.
Dion.
You see, if you tell me who you are, it must mean you too are an accursed. Yet before I make an end of you, there is something I wish to know. Was it you who killed the wyvern in the pass? What of it?
You see, then tell me one more thing. What happened to the soldier who was pursuing you?
Soldier? Are you talking about that guy, Holger?
You know my elder brother?
Elder brother? Then that would make you the younger, George.
By your admission, are you saying you survived the encounter and he did not? Dion, you must then assume Holger died a valiant death as he fought to defeat you.
Yeah, but he refused to join us and instead killed himself. Before he died, though, he told us to look out for the Empire and his little brother.
Although we cannot tell you where his body is, we made sure to give him a proper burial. And regarding the matter, you have my gratitude. However, it does not mean I'm willing to overlook what has transpired here. It is now time I send you to the other side.
Highness, please allow me that honor. I desire to be the one to avenge my brother's death.
Very well. Exact your vengeance upon them.
Thank you, Highness. I will fight. I will fight with you, George. If you are an enemy of George, you are our enemy. And by Holger's name, we will avenge his death.
Dion.
We've got this, Chiffon. You said you were prepared to do whatever it took, right? As for me, I won't be holding back. No matter friend or foe, I've decided to accept whatever comes.
This Dion appears to have changed somewhat from the last time we met. What a shame he is an accursed, or I would have placed him under my command. This having all stemmed from the black energy, it is truly a complex matter.
What are you spouting about, Julius?
That is hardly your concern. In any case, this battle has begun, and I think it unwise for you to take your eyes off your enemy.
What? Die, Dion! Oh boy, they're all going after her, huh? I'm not finished with you. It's enough, George. Though vexing as it is, you have lost. I can still fight. Even if it costs me my life, I'm prepared to fight until I defeat him. I will not allow it, George. Knowing Holger is dead, if I were to let you die too, I would be unable to face your parents. At this point, we must retreat if we are to save your life. What kind of Imperial Prince are you? Are you really going to run away like a dog with its tail between its legs? That is exactly what I intend to do. Are you afraid of losing to me? If you are, you are nothing but a coward with a crown. Highness, forget about me and kill him. You cannot allow him to utter such words against you. Say nothing more. At times it is more courageous to flee when faced with certain loss. But it is so. This is nothing more than fitting the arrow into the bowstring. Next time I meet this man, I will release it and pierce him at his heart. Highness. However, before I retreat, I will say this. Because you killed the wyvern here, an Imperial army fort was attacked and many innocent lives were lost. With that, I have no intention of forgiving you. Next time we meet, I will surely end your life for those who lost theirs. Julius. You got away. Oh no, don't tell me they found out where Arbel is. Doubtful. They were way lacking in numbers to destroy the village. Still, I wonder why they came up here to check on the wyverns anyway. Speaking of, didn't Prince Julius say the Imperial Army fort was attacked by some? And there were also many victims. While I can understand it may eat at your conscience, when I think about our families and friends they've murdered, I can't feel an ounce of sympathy for them. Even so, I do think it best we try to find a way to resolve this without anyone else needing to lose their life. Yes, I agree. For that, though, we're going to need strength. That includes money, provisions, and others we can rely on. Let's hurry to clear. If we can convince the Atramians there to cooperate, we might be able to bring the Empire to the negotiation table. I hear you there. Now let's go. Is there anything that way? I think he wants me to go this way. Wow, it's such a deeply serious story. I mean... Well, looks like we're through the pass. And let's see about locating Clear. It was supposed to be south of here, so let's head in that direction. Imperial Palace Throne Room. It has come to my ears that wyverns attacked Borden Fort. Yes, Your Majesty. However, due to Prince Julius and General Herman's efforts, all were summarily slain. And what of casualties? 128 men lost their lives, and in all there were approximately 1,400 injuries ranging from minor to serious. Casualties were heaviest among civilians living in close proximity to the fort. At present, General Herman is focused on rebuilding and treating the wounded. Prince Julius has also gone to Brennan Pass to ascertain the cause of the attack. I would also like to hear about this. Father. Is it not a rare occurrence to see you outside of your study?
Upon overhearing your conversation, I could not help but come find out what it was concerning. However, Father, I did not find it unusual for monsters to be attacking humans. While in the case of small villages or fields, it has been frequent. An attack on the military outposts and one of this scale is unprecedented. Moreover, my current test subject has also shown an increased response. I had merely thought it a sign of things to come.
You think too much. If anything, this could easily be a plan to put into place by those accursed.
You believe it was these same ones who sent monsters to attack the fort?
Both monsters and these accursed are possessors of black energy. Therefore, it would not surprise me in the least if it were so. The monsters are the enemy of humanity, and as long as these accursed are able to become such, I intend to sweep them off from the face of the land. Therefore, I think it is wise you give up your silly research and dedicate yourself to the discovery of energy that can rid us of both monster and accursed for all time.
I am of the opinion finding the cause of the black energy would rather lead to the end of the shedding of innocent blood.
As you well know, many of our own citizens have lost their lives due to these monsters.
Yet I must point out, these accursed are the very citizens of the Empire you should be protecting.
What is it you mean to say, Father? Exposing the majority to danger to protect the minority is as irrational as to put the cart before the horse.
Maybe as you say. However, if there is even the slightest possibility...
This argument is over, Father. I have no intention of stop fighting until I have destroyed every last accursed from off the face of Celestia. Even if I am known as the greatest tyrant by historians in future generations, I will gladly accept any censure if it leads to the preservation of my people.
It would seem your resolve cannot be unshaken, can it? Then again, I have retired from the life of governance, so now it is you who must do as you see fit. Nevertheless, I do have one belief I cannot budge on. Therefore, I will also have you allow me to act according to the dictates of my own conscience.
As you will, Father. Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is Audapostrophe. You've been watching Alphadia Genesis 2 on xbsx. Again, I think this is coming on Switch it's either this week or next week, and then on PlayStation, the PlayStation systems, it might already be there. I haven't checked the store in a couple days. Yeah, it's a much more serious game than the previous releases from EC Create. Usually they're pretty lighthearted romps with some serious moments, but this is like serious kind of all the way through, with some very, very minor lighthearted things that happen. Yeah, so I mean, I like it a lot. I like the plot. I like the complexity. It reads closer to like a play than it does a traditional like RPG story. So definitely check it out if you like these kind of games, and if you're a fan of Chemical like me, it's definitely worth it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.